So, Jacob, it's been really great getting to hear your testimony as you go through the process to become a member of the church. For those of you who don't know, this is Jacob Johnson. He's going to be a member of the church in the next month or two here. And I got to hear his testimony as he was going through that, and it was just fantastic. I thought it would really benefit a lot of us to hear it, and it would be encouraging to us. So I wanted to give us a chance to do that. So, Jacob, what are some ways that your faith has changed and developed over these last few years? Places where God's really been at work in your life?
Or just backstory a little bit. Stereotypical Christian in the way that, like, been in the church since birth. I've known nothing else but, like, went through childhood pretty normally. Second grade, I don't want to say diagnosed, that makes it sound way worse. The doctors pretty much were like, you have dyslexia. It's more severe than a lot of cases where most people, like, B's and D's, M's and W's will get mixed up, which I get those mixed up, but, like, they just couldn't figure out why, like, I could sound out a word perfectly, but it just wouldn't, like, my brain wouldn't register that that's the word. So, like, there's a lot of just, like, a lot of screaming matches with God right over there at late in the morning. Mom and Dad didn't know, just because up all night just thinking, like, why you do this to me? Like, I do everything, like, and then it came, like, very logical thinker, so I'm like, well, the Muleks get their Bible verse done a little faster than I do, so maybe that's why, or, like, Gary reads his Bible more, so, like, I can't read the Bible, but I audiobook the Bible, so I'm like, maybe that will, like, help. So, like, for multiple years throughout middle school, it was, like, trying to be the best Christian that I could possibly be, and then, like, it's still not working, so, like, just had a lot of, like, negative effects. Like, he talked about it too at Calvin Crest. I'm spacing. The guy that was left-handed.
Ehud is the greatest of judges because his special gift was to be left-handed. Also stabbing fat kings. He liked that a lot too.
And, like, that was what we went over. He's like, yeah. And the guest sermon was like, God does some weird things. Like, he's like, just because, like, you think that is the worst thing that has ever happened to you, like, doesn't mean that, like, you won't probably know it this whole time, but, like, God has made you the way you are for a specific reason. Like, he gave the example, his wife went through breast cancer, and, like, it was a 5-year thing, and, like, he's like, God, how are you going to bring good out of this? My wife is literally dying.
Yeah.
And, like, she fought the good fight, won, and she was literally ended up talking to this random person that she could relate to. They went up to the snow or something because they got the good news, and they're like, let's go celebrate. And they like the snow. So he's like, guys, let's go out in the snow, let's celebrate. And she, like, they got a little mad at her because she ended up talking to this lady for, like, 4 hours straight while everybody's having snowball fights and everything. And they're like, Mom, are you okay? Is it just, like, something? She's like, oh, no, we're just talking. They find out later that she had a 4-hour talk with this lady that has always heard of this God thing and religion and everything, but, like, she was having a tough time because she had just gotten diagnosed. So he's like, and my wife and them are now best friends. They go to church with us every Sunday. Like, it was like, we went through 4 years of hell, and we got, like, we brought another person to Christ. Yeah. So, like, don't know why he made me so I can't read. Like, 19 not being able to read is a little bit interesting to tell people when you're, like, and just, I struggled a lot with, like, pride issues, because, like, getting me to ask people for help for a long time was, like, pulling teeth. Like, every time, like, I pray for God, like, can you, like, give me something to help figure this out? Yeah. It is in songs. Which I was like, dude, like, can I just give me the burning bush? Why you gotta make me, like, listen to the radio? And, like, the occasional time I'm listening to the radio. And, like, when Beloved came out, I was struggling with just, like, God, why did you do this to me? Like, what did I do? Like, I've tried to do everything that I can do possibly to, like, be a great Christian and, like, or, like, I would try to, like, put it, like, in my prayed this prayer for many years was like, well, you gave somebody sight. I can see, so it can't be that complicated to compare to, like, you brought people back from the dead, man. Like,
yeah,
you can kind of just, like, side look at me and, like, I can read again. And that was a lot of just like younger Jacob, like trying to like, you know, you could like just kind of like you spoke everything into existence, so I don't even think you would have to like think about it for Jacob to be able to read. Like, come on, man. And so like it was just a whole lot of just like, why did you do this to me? And the song Beloved came out by Jordan Felice, and one of the lines is, you are essential, not accidental. And that has just been like, whenever like I'm getting down or any, like those are words that pop into my head. Or like I've had amazing special needs teachers that have just been like, they've explained it to me in like ways that 5-year-old Jacob could understand, and like, hey, you're no different than everybody else, you just got to do this a little, like, and stuff like that. Or I had amazing parents that kicked down doors if they were closed for Jacob. They got those doors opened. If Jacob really wanted to try something, Jacob was going to do it. Yeah. God doesn't work how I want him to work. He works how I need him to work, and I don't love that all the time, but God is just, he's something special.
Yeah.
Just
so Paul says in one of his letters, he talks about how he has a thorn in his flesh, and how he prayed over and over for God to remove the thorn, but that eventually God answered his prayer not by taking the thorn away, but by saying, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. How have you found God's strength made perfect in your weakness in this regard?
On the negative scale for reading, but I'm forgetting the percentile, but it's like for reading comprehension, which is kind of ironic, I am on pretty much the highest category.
Yeah.
So like teachers get mad because I never take notes.
Yeah.
I do study now just with college and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, class, and it's like,
you're very, very smart. I know you very well.
Not Jacob, raise your hand, especially when it's coming to like remembering stuff or things.
Yeah.
Or, like my friends are just like, you're a nerd, dude.
Yeah.
Why can you remember all of these parts in a movie?
Yeah.
Or like,
and it's because God's taught you to compensate.
Yeah.
God's taught you to find different ways to make things happen. God has made you a uniquely gifted individual because of also having unique trials that you go through.
I don't learn everybody's way, but I learn Jacob's way. Where like, he's given me a lot of weaknesses, but he's given me a lot of strengths. Or like, I can't write an essay, but I can talk to you forever.
Well, hey, we are better as a church for having your unique strengths, man. Thanks for talking to me today.
No problem.
This is where we smile at each other for like 5 seconds so that we can fade it out nice. All right.